So before you start seriously investing, whether that's in stocks, bonds, real estate, your own business, whatever, one thing you gotta do first. Hey YouTube, in this video I'm going to talk about what an emergency fund is and why you need one, even if you might find other places that say you don't. So let's get to it. If you don't know what an emergency fund is, all it is an account where you put money into to cover any emergency expenditures you might have. Usually you want it to be at least 3 to 6 months of your expenses to cover any unforeseen circumstances that could happen. Now, some people might say, don't build an emergency fund, just put your money into stocks or real estate or bonds or whatever. You'll get a bigger return. And yes, you will, but that completely misses the point of what an emergency fund is. You know, all the things I mentioned, they're for future you, for future wealth building. That's the whole point of them. If I'm investing money in my own business or stocks or real estate, the whole point is so I can have more money in the future. An emergency fund, the whole point is for the now. If something were to happen right now, it'll cover me for that time period. If I have $5,000 in stocks and then I get sick and I have to go to the hospital or something and I need to pay something, I don't want to take that out of my stock portfolio. The whole point is I put the money in there and I want it to grow. So while yeah, you can get a better return doing almost anything else than putting it in a savings account, let's say, you don't want to have to sacrifice the money that's being put to work for you growing just to cover an emergency expense. So if anyone ever makes you feel bad for trying to have an emergency fund, just remember, yes, you can put your money into better places and get more returns, but the point of an emergency fund is not for greater returns. It's for covering if something bad were to happen. You know, I mean, what if you lost your job tomorrow? What if you got into a car crash, or a million different things that can go wrong with your car that are expensive to fix? If you get sick or break something happens to your family or a close friend and you have to pay for something, you know, life is filled with stuff that happens. And it's out of our control, unfortunately, but we could at least be prepared, and an emergency fund gives you that peace of mind knowing, okay, I'm ready, so what you got, life? And if you're one of those people who are like, finance fool, I can't do this, I'm living paycheck to paycheck, I don't have time for an emergency fund, well, odds are you probably need it the most then. You know, most people can't cover an emergency expense of $400. That's not that much, and it's kind of worrying. And your budget should allow for some money every month to be going to an emergency fund anyways. If you don't know how to budget and need some help, check out my video on budgeting. It'll tell you different budgeting methods you can use to help you save. And if you are one of those people that are living paycheck to paycheck, then there's probably something in your life that you can reduce or downsize, something that will let you put some money away into a savings account, whether maybe you're not gonna eat at fast food anymore or do X. Having the peace of mind that an emergency fund will bring you will be more than worth it, I promise you. So guys, make sure to like, comment, subscribe for more financial tips, knowledge, and experiences as I go through them down the line. Now that you guys know what an emergency fund is and why you need one, let's get to more of the how to get one. So when it comes to emergency funds, usually people use savings accounts, and you would want to try to get a high yield savings account. What a high yield savings account is just a savings account that gets you more than average interest rate returns. But we finance people like to be fancy and say things like high yield, so yeah. Some banks will actually pay you to open a checking or savings account with them. That's what I did with Chase, I think like 6-ish months ago. They gave me $300 to open a checking account with them. Link down in the description if you guys are interested in signing up. Get a free $300 in your checking account. The only thing you have to be careful is making sure you're switching all your different accounts, things you pay for, over to whatever new bank account you get. You know, if you're paying your rent monthly, for example, and just going straight from your account to the apartment, you don't want to accidentally not pay a month and have to pay late penalties just because you're switching accounts. And Chase isn't the only one to do this. There are other banks that do it. Chase is just the one that I have a personal experience with, so that's why I'll vouch for them. But other banks do them, so feel free to look around. And even if the saving accounts they give you don't offer high yield, the money you get in the intro offer, if you're just starting an emergency fund, odds are will probably make up for it. I mean, especially right now where rates are below 2% generally, not a great return. Might as well get a couple $100 that you know you're not going to get from the same account anyways. And yes, there are other things you can use to put your money into to start your emergency fund, but savings account are something that you'll have quick access to, and you could put it in something like a money market account or a CD, but well, CD, you don't have quick access to your money, and money market account, there are fees involved and certain restrictions to what you can do with the account, so that's why, to be safe, if you're just trying to start one, I would say start with a savings account. And yes, you should try to get a high yield savings account if you can, but keep in mind the whole purpose of an emergency fund is not to build you crazy wealth over time. No one puts money in a savings account to do that. It's just to have the peace of mind knowing that if worst case scenario you lose your job, you get that couple months cushion that you can operate in. And you don't have to build the fund all at once, just a little bit at a time. It'll build up, and before you know it, oh, you got a couple months worth of money tucked away in case you need it. So now you guys have a way to make a couple $100 to get that emergency fund going, and now you know why you need an emergency fund to begin with. And that's all I have for you today, guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe for more financial knowledge and tips and experiences as I go through them. And I'll see you in the next one. We're done.